r/ask Reddit. What discontinued products do wish would make a comeback? The original formulation for Pyrex glass that wasn't so brittle. Not made out of borosilicate any longer. That's why they crack. The old ones were good for making crack and the new ones are good for making cracks. All the Lego products they no longer make, like Mars. Agreed. Want them to bring back some lines like their old knights and castles, and not high-tech knights with flying or moving castles or any crap like that. Just the old sets figures are fine. I want a remastered classic castle line so badly. Lego would be able to milk the shit out of that. Full-sized spare tires in cars, please and much thanks. I've learned recently a lot of cars don't even come with spares standard anymore. The small difference in weight apparently helps gas mileage. The weight reduction should increase MPG. I'll just pay the bit extra in gas to carry a spare in my car at all times. I'd rather have it and not need it than don't have it and need it. Edit. It's a donut. It weighs maybe 20 pounds. Removing it wouldn't increase MPG by a noticeable amount. I live in a rural area where just about anything can puncture a tire. It's quicker for me to change a tire than get a tow. Having that spare saved me 2 or 3 times. While I would love to have a more efficient car, or, so help me, a ducking Tesla or equivalent, I was very pleased to find out I think it's an 01 Camry I was driving had a full-size spare when the front driver's side tire decided to shred itself while I was on the interstate. Being able to go a couple of days on the spare was a lifesaver. Altoids mango sours. It's ridiculous how unanimously and consistently the entire internet wants these back. At this point there should be conspiracy theories on why they won't. I think the reason they discontinued them was because people were damaging their mouths and gums by eating too much. The acid in them would literally break down the tissue in your mouth. That being said, I miss them a lot and Altoids can go duck themselves for depriving me of that delicious pain. Shockingly they ended them because they weren't popular enough. Which is weird to me because you hear about them constantly in topics like this. I can only guess that if you loved Altoid sours, you really loved them. And if you didn't, you just didn't, though I really suspect that you probably just didn't have one before. In Germany, there used to be this ice pop in a cup that was full of these fizzy bits that fizzed up on your tongue. It was called Blizz and came in 2 flavors, lemon and cola, and was intensely sour and really refreshing. It was released in 1994 or so and stopped a few years after. Even after so many years, I totally miss it. The NCAA football video game franchise. I played so much NCAA 98 back in college. I loved that game. I had a dynasty team with like 15-20 seasons of recruiting the best players. Nothing could stop me. Especially if they bring back the ability to link with Madden. Really made me care about my players when I could follow a whole career. If I had a good class, I'd trade everyone away so I could cheat the computer out of picks and take my college grads. Even if they weren't on my Madden team, it was cool seeing their generated names appear and be like, oh, he's with the Bucks now. Or some RB you had for 4 years led the AFC in yards. So many hours spent on NCAA Madden 05 creating myself and friends and doing entire careers. Flintstones Push Pops. Man, I used to love those as a kid. They had some of the most delicious creamsicle flavor ever. I still see them in gas stations. 3D Doritos. It has been brought to my attention that you can buy these on eBay for pretty cheap. I told my GF yesterday that I used to eat a large bag of jalapeno 3D Doritos like once every 3 days. The look of horror that crossed her face will never be forgotten. Wait, what? Have 3D Doritos been discontinued, even in the UK? Yet just one factory in Mexico makes them and they aren't the same flavor. Dembone's Halloween candy. They were little candies in the shape of a skeleton and were like a mix of Smarties and sweet tarts. Pretty sure they still make those, friend. Planters cheese balls, from the can. Or their cheese doodles. Cheese, bud, cheese, not cheese. Those sons of beaches. The least they could have done is sold the equipment and recipe to someone so that we could still get them. I've tried hundreds of kinds of cheese balls and still haven't found anything that can touch Planters cheese balls. It's been a long time and I try to block out the memory because it's like chasing the dragon of snack foods. There were these peanut butter snacks made by Planters. I don't know what they were called. They were made out of the stuff that ice cream cones are made out and filled with peanut butter. They were shaped like little peanuts. I miss the hell out of those. Those Burger King fries with the cheese powder that you would shake in the bag. Those were the best fries kid me ever had. I'm going to one up you here. Burger King cheesy tots. Those things were so full of cheese and amazing. Like a perfect marriage of fried cheese and potato. The loaded tots they did a few years later were a pale shadow of their fattening glory. BK should just make cheesy tots permanent. Also, I was super annoyed that 1 month ago I tried to order those, only to be told, despite it being shown on their computerized menu board, from an employee that it was actually brought back like 2 months ago. Bug. BK really can't remove menu items from the computer menu board that already were only done as a brief promotion. Honestly, I love those so much that I don't know why cheesy tots aren't made permanent. If Taco Bell can make the cheesy Gordita Crunch permanent, used to only be an off and on menu item, I wish BK would do the same here. I finally found running shoes I like, and they stopped making them. Then I found running shoes I like, and they stopped making them. Then I found running shoes I really like, and they stopped making them. And nobody even makes anything even close to them. The annoying thing is they still make walking shoes that are practically the same but with no padding. And they make those running shoes in women's sizes. Edit obligatory RIP my inbox. But here's a bit more info. The shoes I used to like were Vivabarefoot Ultra 2. They are minimalist barefoot running shoes. They're ugly as hell, but pretty comfortable and very, very airy. The best thing about them is that they're completely rubber. No cloth. If you run barefoot in cloth shoes, they get, well, kinda gross pretty fast. I've tried everything. Sprays, washing them, whatever. After 2 months they are just disgusting. Not to mention if you run through mud, or a puddle, or a lake, or it rains. The Ultra 2, just rinse them out. Done. You don't even have to wait for them to dry before using them again. Here are responses to some of the suggestions people have made. I can't even find them on eBay anymore. Not that I ever saw them on eBay in my size. The Ultra Pure and Ultra 3/Ultra 3 Bloom are waking shoes. They have zero padding. Running in them gets painful very fast and the sole wears out super fast. I can't get women's size in a size that would fit me. I wear the 10th of May 1944, which is the 12th of May 1943. That's just not a thing. My solution right now is to run with regular cloth shoes and socks. This will suck when it gets hot. Next time you find some you like, buy multiple pairs and just keep the extras in the closet until the first pair is done. If I ever do. One problem is I've never been able to make running shoes last more than 6 months, and they're not super cheap, so getting lots of them at once isn't viable. The ones I have now are okay, and the main reason I got them is they were on sale, and I'm not really sure how well they'll do when it's high summer. I can't find if anyone has mentioned it already, but oh my gatus, Wendy's spicy chicken nuggets. All-time favorite fast food item. Pepsi Blue, can't even remember if it was good, but I always got it as a kid. In my experience, when they bring a discontinued soda back, people get excited, buy it once, and then understand why it was discontinued. I am looking in your direction. Surge and Crystal Clear Pepsi. Pepsi Crystal was actually good. Coke just had great advertising and tanked it. The Cornballer. You can still buy them in Mexico. I thought they rebranded them in the US. For children, I miss those Boy Fights VHS tapes. I grew up watching those Baby Buster shorts. Fried apple pies from McDonald's. Duck this baked shit. At the time they switched, I worked in the food industry for the company that makes those pies. There are a couple of reasons for the switch. The pies were changed to baked in an effort to rationalize forcing franchisees to buy pizza ovens. Remember McD's Pizza? Baked pies were cooked in the same oven as pizzas. The other reason is that McD's wanted to jump on the baked not fried health kick. The perception is that baked goods are healthier than deep fried food. The kicker? We had to add so much fat to the baked pies to make them palatable. The amount of grease in them is as much or more than what the fried pie contains after it's fried. Ecto Cooler. When they did the special rollout of it for the new Ghostbusters, I was able to snag a few cases at Kroger. but it was all I found. It was just as delicious as I remember it being. I want more. I could take or leave the Ecto Cooler branding, but I just want that flavor back. The green and purple colored ketchup used to promote the Shrek movies. I remember loving that shit as a kid. That almost bankrupted them. Turns out green and purple are psychologically the worst colors to make food. I don't doubt it. I remember refusing to eat it when my mom brought it home. Looking back, I feel bad for her, but it really was a disgusting looking thing on a hot dog. Lego really needs to do a classic line where they bring back some of their old sets from the 90s. I would give them all my money if they did that. I'd be living on the street, but I'd be sitting by my dumpster playing with my M-Tron, Blacktron and Space Police sets. Mini disc. Perfect CD quality copies. Easy to transport. Nigh on impossible to break or scratch. Perfect for a weirdo like me who doesn't do playlists, listens to only a handful of albums at any one time, and likes to listen to them from start to finish. Plus I just like having physical media. Something about mini disc was just satisfying. Okay, still compressed I have learned, but I couldn't tell the difference. Probably a good thing. Don't forget back then a 512 megabyte MP3 player was baller, but fitting an album on it meant really shitty bitrate. Sony screwed the otherwise excellent mini disc Discman series with DRM and their own proprietary software, which stopped you using them as rewritable file storage. Would have been amazing as a student, or having more than 3, including the copy on your PC. Digital copies of any one song. They were also really useful for field recording before high capacity sound recorders came along. Lisa Frank stuff. Lisa Frank stuff is back, and so big now that they make clothes now. Fruitopia. We have Fruitopia. My kids get it for their drink at McDonald's from the fountain machine. Ontario. Crispy M&Ms. Those were brought back years ago. Bright green package in the US, I believe, light blue package in the UK. Alphabet cereal. There wasn't anything special about the flavor, very likely Frosted Cheerio like flavor, but every morning before preschool and kindergarten, I would eat these for breakfast with my mom and we'd play the alphabets game. I would randomly pick a letter from my bowl, and we would take turns coming up with words that started with that letter. When we couldn't come up with anything anymore, we would shout "eat it," and I'd eat the letter. Yes, breakfast took a while, but it's a great memory. I always answer the same when this comes up, just in case a BK marketing rep is listening. Mother duck and chicken parm sandwich at Burger King. Hands down the most delicious fast food sandwich ever created. Cookies and cream Twix. This was a thing. Sounds ducking delicious. I guess it's a good thing I never tried them, so I don't know what I'm missing. Lawn darts. I too enjoy a nice lobotomy with my lemonade on a hot summer day. I do not know what it is called, but it was a drug used to help alleviate the progression and symptoms of ankylosing spondylitis, as is an autoimmune auto-inflammatory disease that in severe cases can cause sections of the spine to fuse, and in the most severe cases can cause full fusion of the spine, ribs, and hips. It is a debilitating disease that my father unfortunately suffers from. As a kid, there was a drug that for him was the perfect solution. It halted progression of the disease and helped manage the pain to a certain extent. However, it was found to be cardiotoxic in a certain percentage of patients and was removed from the market after a class action was filed against the company that produced it. It took my father another 6 years to find a suitable replacement in Humira, but by then more damage had been done. Humira, in combination with HPV, resulted in stage 3/4 lymphoma that knocked my father out of commission for almost an entire year. If I could get that drug back for my dad, I would do it in a heartbeat, as a small percentage of heart complications is better than choosing between a life of pain and living in fear of another cancer diagnosis. Veneta. Those commercials made me believe as a kid that all other ice cream was trashy in comparison. Chicken selects from McDonald's. Pledge pet hair fabric sweeper. Had a couple of them. Love them. Found out they were discontinued and now being sold on Amazon for $99 each. One of them broke, so now we're clinging to that last one and being very careful with it. Whoa, you made it to the end? You're a ducking beast. I'll cut you a deal. Smash like and subscribe for more curated content, bruh. It's free and that's a great price.